Good morning, beautiful goddesses, and welcome to another episode of Soul Sister Adventures with my bestie, Miss Connie Rose. So today the question we have for you is, are you bigger or smaller than your problems?
Yeah, how timely is that?
How what?
How timely is that?
Well, pretty timely. We're going to have a lot to talk about, I think, today.
I think so. I think so.
So the format is always Connie's got some juicy reading, and then we're going to dive in and unpack how is this really applying in our own lives. Beginning to unpack some questions for you so you can look and see in your own life how is this playing out, such that you can have a breakthrough today. That's our commitment. Let's have a breakthrough, because when it is the darkest is right before the dawn. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready for a breakthrough myself. Yes?
Yeah. Well, a breakdown is really only the starting point for the breakthrough. You can't have a breakthrough unless you have the breakdown first, actually.
Amen, amen.
Like the nature of it, right?
It is the nature of it.
So, I'm getting serious when I got my readers on.
Get the readers on, get out a pen and a piece of paper. We're going to have some rider downers today.
We will definitely have some writer downers today. So if you guys are just catching us for the first time, we are going through Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. I am on page 106 on wealth file number 9. And so here's wealth file number 9. Rich people are bigger than their problems. Poor people are smaller than their problems. So there's going to be some stark truths in this. And our intention is to have you listen and be inspired and rise up, not beat yourself up. So whatever has happened in the past, just let it be there. It's in the past. Like there's nothing you can do about it, right? The only thing you have control over is what is going forward. Yeah. So I just want to put that little warning in there.
I'll just take a deep breath, right?
Yeah, take a deep breath on that one, because
let's just take a deep breath. I don't know where you were listening to this from, but it is like this beautiful, exquisite rainy day here in St. Louis, and it's always just a reminder for me, because I'm a hard charger, right, to just take a deep breath, breathe in that cool, clean air, feel the vibrancy of the planet as the electricity is recharging the planet, and we can actually visually see it, and breathe in those negative ions. So good opportunity to take a deep breath.
Right. We just had our supermoon last night.
Yes.
We are really primed for taking off, right?
Amen.
And we're getting ready, for those of us who are more energetically sensitive, we're getting ready to go in a few weeks on Mercury retrograde again. And so for those of us who are more sensitive, we get to like have that party start faster.
Goody.
Yeah. So just like hang on.
Strap it in.
Strap it in. We got you. So he goes on to say, the road to wealth is fraught with traps and pitfalls, and that's precisely why most people don't take it. Mm-hmm. And you and I were just talking about this morning about some challenges that we've had with the technology, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, this is exactly why we are on the road less traveled.
Yes, we are the pioneers.
Right, we are the pioneers, and not everyone realizes that they can rise above the situation so that they can handle it. Like they get stopped, like an obstacle happens, right? Because one of the wealth files we did before is wealthy people focus on opportunities, poor people focus on obstacles, which is totally tied to this one, right?
Yes.
So it's fraught with traps and pitfalls. That's exactly why most people don't take it. They don't want the hassles, the headaches, the responsibilities. In short, they don't want the problem. Therein lies the biggest difference between rich people and poor people. Rich and successful people are bigger than their problems, while poor and unsuccessful people are smaller than their problems. Poor people will do almost anything to avoid problems. They see a challenge and run. The irony is, in their quest to make sure they don't have any problems, they have the biggest problem of all. They are broke and miserable. The secret to success, my friends, is not trying to avoid or get rid of or shrink from your problems. The secret is to grow yourself so that you are bigger than your problems. So I just want to say to all of our listeners today, congratulations, because you're here. Right. So you're already distinct from the masses wanting to, like, if you're, attracted to what we are sharing, and are part of our tribe, you already want and see more for yourself.
Yes.
Right.
Well, and you also get to be the, the breakthrough point. You used to call us early adapters, right?
Right. Yeah.
If
I
you're
think
willing to be an
are.
early adapter in transforming this, you also get to be at the forefront of the wave of wealth and making a difference and impact on the planet, like for real.
Yes, for real, for real. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, imagine you are a person with a level 2 strength of character and attitude looking at a level 5 problem. Would this problem appear to be big or little? Well, from a level 2 perspective, this is everything, right? Perspective, a level 5 problem would seem like a big problem.
Sure.
Now, imagine yourself that you've grown yourself and become a level 8 person. Would that same level 5 problem be a big or little problem? Well, magically, the identical problem is now a little problem. Finally, imagine you work really hard on yourself and become a level 10 person. Now, is the same level 5 a big problem or a little problem? Well, the answer is it's not a problem at all. It doesn't even register in your brain because it is not a problem. There's no negative energy around it. It's just a normal occurrence to handle, just like brushing your teeth or getting dressed. Note that whether you are rich or poor, playing big or playing small, problems do not go away. If you're breathing, you'll always have so-called problems or obstacles in life. Let me make this short and sweet. The size of your problem is never the issue. What matters is the size of you. This may be painful. And if you're ready to move on to the next level of success, you're going to have to become conscious of what's really going on in your life. Ready? So here it goes. If you have a big problem in your life, that just means that you are being a small person. Don't be fooled by appearances. Your outer world, we know this, is merely a reflection of your inner world. If you want to make a permanent change, stop focusing on the size of your problems and start focusing on the size of you. One of the not so subtle reminders I give participants at my seminar is whenever you feel as if you've got a big problem, point to yourself and scream, mini me, mini me, mini me. Now, I have to tell you, I don't necessarily agree with that kind of harshness. It doesn't have to be that harsh. I do think that bringing awareness to it is useful, to a point, and, take your hand off the hot stove. There's no need to like all that. So then coming from your higher self, rather than your ego-based victim self, take a deep breath and decide right now in this very moment that you will be, and you are a bigger person, and not allow any problem or obstacle to take you out of either your happiness or your success. The bigger the problem you can handle, the bigger business you can handle, the bigger responsibility you can handle, the more employees you can handle, the more customers you can handle, the more money you can handle, and ultimately the more wealth you can handle. Again, your wealth can only grow to the extent that you do. The objective is to grow yourself to a place where you can overcome any problem or obstacles that get in the way of your creating wealth and keeping it once you have it. By the way, keeping your wealth is a whole other world. So think of yourself as a container for wealth. This is really good, especially for those of us who are like visual. If your container is small and your money is big, what's going to happen? You will lose it. Your container will overflow and the excess money will spill out all over the place. You simply cannot have more money than the container. Therefore, you must grow to be a bigger container so you can not only hold more wealth, and also attract more wealth. The universe abhors a vacuum. And if you have a very large money container, it will rush in to fill the space. One of the reasons rich people are bigger than their problems go back to what we focused on earlier. They don't focus on the problems, they focus on the goal. Again, the mind generally focuses on one predominant thing at a time, meaning that either you are whining about the problem or you are working on the solution. Rich and successful people are solution oriented. They spend their time and energy strategizing and planning the answers to challenges that come up and creating systems to make certain the problems don't occur again. poor, and unsuccessful people are problem oriented. They spend their time and energy bitching and complaining and seldom come up with anything creative to alleviate the problem, let alone make sure the problem doesn't happen again. We were just literally just talking about this before we started recording. Like, we're going to talk. I want you to talk about that in a second.
No accidents.
No accidents. Rich people do not back away from problems, do not avoid problems, do not complain about problems. Rich people are financial warriors. The bottom line is that if you become a master at handling problems and overcoming any obstacle, what can stop you from success? The answer is nothing. And if nothing can stop you, you become unstoppable. And when you become unstoppable, what choices do you have in your life? The answer is all choices. If you are unstoppable, anything and everything is available to you. Simply choose it and it's yours. How's that for freedom? So let's take a deep breath. We're going to put our hand on our heart, bring to our focus back to our heart and brain coherence, right? And so as we take a deep breath and have our hand on our heart, that is calling to mind all that heart energy, which is so powerful, so very powerful. And I want you to repeat after me. I am bigger than any problems. I'm bigger than any problems. And the next one is I can handle any problem. I can handle any problem. Touch your head. I have a millionaire mind.
I have a millionaire mind.
And so one of the homework activities, I love, 25 years in education. I love giving out homework. That never changes. So it says, write down a problem you are having in your life. Then list 10 specific actions you could take to resolve or at least improve the situation. This will move you from problem thinking into solution thinking. And one of the things, I think Einstein said this, is that you can never solve a problem at the same level it was created. So really it is just about having a higher perspective, a higher view, right? Yes. And for those of you who are like needing a little bit of help with this whole, I'm bigger than my problems, what I know as a faith-based woman, I know that God is bigger than everything, bigger than every single problem I have. Yes. So I know I could grow into that. And one of the biggest blessings I know, and we've talked about this a lot, Shannon, is one of the biggest blessings of our relationship that we are bringing into this Soul Sister Adventure community is reminding people who they are. They are bigger, right, than they know themselves to be, who they are and whose they are. Yes. And I think that is exactly what this wealth file is talking about. Mm-hmm. So when we talked about, where the breakdowns are, all they are is like, there's just something that's missing. Yes. Typically a system, right? Yes. So I don't know if you want to share about that, because we were literally just talking about that.
Well, this is so power packed with juice.
I know, right?
Wow. And I love, I remember that exercise that we would do when we were in training class about like, how is that a problem? Right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And it was all about perspective, right? So what one problem is for one may or may not be a problem for another. Yep. And how, I love what you said about we are containers. So how do we expand our containers? Yeah. It's really to have lived experiences, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're just beginning in business, everything might be frightful or scary or overwhelming or not knowing how to do or what to do.
And that's just a brain pattern that hasn't yet been developed. That's all it is. Everything's a brain pattern and a frequency, right?
And the muscle has not gone to the gym.
Yep.
Exercising, stretching, growing, expanding. And that's inevitable, that can be solved. Hanging out with someone who is, I loved, I was on a training just the other day, and it was like, you don't always need to be an expert. You literally just need to be 1 week ahead of the people that you're helping.
Yes.
I'm like, whoa. Wow, does that knock off the old desire to be perfect all the time?
Exactly.
Falsehood. I just need to be 1 week ahead of the people that I'm helping.
Yes.
And as fast as we are traveling these days, whoa, 1 week is like a lifetime.
It is. It is. Yeah, I know. Every day is like, I wake up, like last week was like miracle, 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 miracle.
Yeah.
And I would wake up and think, I wonder how God's going to surprise me with a miracle today.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Woo. I know you
Yeah.
wanted to share something and I forgot. I was so in tune to your
Oh, yeah. So we were talking about, so we both are working with this amazing software
Yep.
that's helping us grow our business
Yes.
and on social media. And again, there's some new things, brain patterns that we haven't done before. Like anything new is just, it's just the reason why it's uncomfortable is our neurology is still trying to figure out like where it can match with something that was similar.
Yes.
It's searching for what was similar and I could attach it to until like it could have a sustained, its own pattern,
Yes.
and it could be uncomfortable and people like will shy away from being uncomfortable.
Or give up.
Totally give up. Because what happens, they forget who they are and whose they are, right?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So yesterday was a perfect example. Again, I am learning to grow and expand and do things online, specifically create videos and just put text on them, right?
Yeah.
So this is a skill that I have never done before. And I do know that it's needed. And, the type of difference that I want to make in the world, I have got to start doing videos. That's just the bottom line. And I, again, have done this business 6 different ways. It's like, okay, this is just the next one. And while as
You've made a lot of videos.
Say that again.
You've made a lot of videos.
Oh, I've made a lot of videos, but not like this, right?
Not like this.
Yes, not like this. Yes.
Yeah.
Not like this. And as excited as I am about it, and so then all these thought patterns could come up, right? Like, oh, I'm too old for this, or oh, maybe I should do it a different way, or is it really needed? Or I could really dive into the dumpster, truck of oh, social media, blah, 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 fill in the blank. I don't know. Some people say so many different things. And so it always goes back to, do you remember when I did the 5-day leadership challenge, the free challenge?
Yes.
So one of the things I would just like to give some reprieve, right? To give some tools to how can we really master these new skills? It's like, okay, I'm really looking at the big picture, right? And the other thing is like, put a ring on it, right? Like I'm marrying this new method. I've made a choice. I made a decision. There is only one way I'm going to go. I will be successful at this no matter what, I'm in for the long game, the long term, right? So I really have to, ask yourself in your heart, if you continue to quit, are you in this for the long haul? Right. I was just thinking driving, that's where I either in the shower or while I drive, that's where I do my thinking. And I'm like, I think, so many, business is not about the business. The business is actually about the self-development, the self-discovery process. And in that process, you get to create a life and create abundance and make an impact and make a difference. And the difference or impact or abundance that you get to make is all really a factor of how much are you willing to self-discover, self-transform, do the inner work. Our outer world is a reflection of the inner game. For sure. And that's so, so back to the 5-day challenge and the tool. It's really, I've got a big picture, right? There's only one way I'm going to do this. I will figure it out, no matter how long it takes me, even though I know I wanted to start yesterday, right? I didn't get my tools or my system down yesterday. So I'm behind and it's okay. Right. So just go, it's all right. Take a deep breath. Yeah. I can begin again today. Right. And yes, I'm Googling videos. I'm purchasing programs to teach me how to do this. There is, are you willing to invest in yourself to have anything and everything you say that you want? I think that's another big nugget is the worthy. Like, not only am I worthy of it, but like who I think I am is worthy such that I can make the difference. So map this over to your own life, right? Like, what is holding you back? Where are you not investing in you such that you receive the worth of the thought about who you know that you actually are, such that you can fulfill on that? You were not given that thought. You were not given that dream. You were not given that passion or purpose by accident. The question is, what actions are you willing to step into to have it, to fulfill on it? And it's not always pretty. Most days, my days are messy. I'm just being straight. How about yours, Connie? How perfect are they?
Yeah, I was just telling you, like before we got on, like, so one of the things that I have created is this future Connie, right?
Yes, yes.
And future Connie looks a certain way,
Yep.
lives a certain way, her days are structured a certain way.
Yep.
That works, right?
Yes.
Because I got really clear after this, as I'm doing this healing work around Nicholas's being in heaven, that if I'm going to be here, it's got to be juicy. It's got to be miraculous. It's got to be worth it. You know?
And I said to you,
Yeah.
that actually is
For everyone.
for everyone.
Yeah, you don't have to
We're
wait.
gonna be here.
Yeah, you don't have to wait for something traumatic,
terrible to happen. And I think most people do.
Oh, I think that's how we are. Like, you know, bottom is a great place to bounce back up. a lot of resistance that like has you bounce back up.
So thank you for being the space.
Yeah.
That we get to watch your journey, feel through your journey, that everything is possible, anything is possible. And I love the declaration you're creating for yourself in your life. If you are going to be here, it is going to be filled with miracles.
Yes.
Because when you do that, you give and grant permission to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And so part of that, this future Connie is so real.
Yes.
I do the work every morning, every night, throughout the day. It's so real. And then when I look at like my existing situation, you know, the software that we've been using is filling my calendar with appointments for my, you know, AO scan technology and this other technology that we're using.
Yes.
Which is great. I love it. I'm thrilled. Like great, massive results. And there's some other things that need to be handled. Yep. So that like some just practical things that need to be handled that have been like easily like switched to the side as these other priorities come up. And so it's like, okay, like I wish I could clone myself. I wish I could like, you know, like the system is automated. Like how can I automate this other piece?
These other things, yes.
Right. And I'm looking at systems and structures, you know, to make that happen so that I don't have to do and be all the things, right? Yes, so that future Connie could be like happen now. And it's like I could taste it.
Yes.
And it's so real, Shannon. It is so real. And then I live in that space so much, you know, so like I think that's a really great thing for our listeners to ask themselves, like, who is it that you're living into? What is the future? And so whenever you're in now here, and a challenge or whatever arises, like, well, so I asked myself, like, especially like in my eating program, I don't even call it an eating program. As I'm releasing weight, I often ask myself, well, what would future Connie do? Like future Connie doesn't indulge in X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
Future Connie doesn't indulge in the negative thinking.
Right.
You know, future Connie, fill in the blank.
Yes.
And that pulls me forward to then be more and more in alignment with that. And so to get really crystal clear on where you're going so that you, when the problems arise, which they inevitably will, you know yourself to be bigger than that.
Yes.
Because that future that you've created is so magnetically drawing you there.
Yes.
That you can't not take the actions.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Like back to the question we asked earlier, how is this a problem? How is this a problem for future Connie or future Shannon or future you? It's actually not.
It's not.
It's not. And we're just right now currently standing in the gap of where we are and where we want to be, who we know ourselves to be, as I assert our listeners are as well.
Yes.
And I think, again, another great tool is back to the, 5-day leadership challenge is, looking at the big picture. So actually go up, like above your timeline, 3,000 feet, and look down at
Yep.
this, it's really a movie, a timeline being played out, and I'll just use myself as an example. It's like, what is Shannon doing?
Yeah.
Is she filling her time with busy work, or am I actually cutting away, sharpening the tool at the necessary things that are needed to have this monster vision and goal to impact and empower 1 billion women? Like, if however, like, if you don't have problems, you are not playing.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I assert, if your problems are small, then your vision is too little.
That's right.
So,
well, do you remember when I went through the introduction leader program in landmark education, and the head coach said to me, the way you know your goal and your future is worthy and big
yes,
enough for you is that your butt should be puckering.
yes.
So when you're created that future you, like,
Yes.
is your butt puckered? Like, and you should really have almost no idea how to get there. And
Correct. Oh, I
they,
love that. Oh, let's let that marinate for a second. You should have no idea how to fulfill on what it is that you say that you want. Oh,
yeah, because if
that's the
you
right
do, you'd already
example.
be doing it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And then I'm just circling back to a few of the nuggets that were said today. I was, you could say I was complaining. I was expressing, right?
Yeah,
My
we had dump
frustration.
permits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did pull a dump permit this morning. I was expressing my frustration around, I spent all day yesterday, launching this new, system, uh, basically the Work With Me link, which then, so I could put into a bio into these videos. And then I learned that because I didn't have X amount of followers, so I'm like Googling, how can I put in a link when I don't have X? I mean, you can just see the conundrum, and all that it is to get is that it's just one step, and then one step, and then one step, and then one step. And in reality, there's nothing wrong here. Oh, excuse me, I missed the thought. So the thought was, what is missing? So I'm going to master this pathway. I am going to be the pioneer. I'm going to break through. I'm going to do that 4-minute mile such that when you want to do this, or I'm attracting people who want to do this, I have the pathway. It is like, boom, done.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I've done that in so many other areas of my business. How many systems do I have? My goodness.
Yes.
So
Totally.
this will just be one more system that I will create for my people, such that they don't have the heartache or the frustration. But also, that is for me also fulfilling. Like, I want to be that for the world. I don't actually have it that struggle is a problem,
Right.
because that's where growth happens. That's where the
Every time.
adventure lies.
Well, it's the muscle, right? Muscles, we go to the gym Tuesdays and Friday mornings, love it. And unless you push yourself, the muscle doesn't ever develop.
And these are the muscles for your personality, for utilizing your voice, for
Yeah.
your values, for your,
Right.
determination, your who you are in the world. Without strengthening that, you actually won't exist. You will get sucked up by the vortex.
Well, so I have all these lessons of the butterfly that I love so much.
Please.
And so one of them is like, if you help the butterfly out of the chrysalis and do not let it struggle to
Yes.
emerge, then in the struggle, like if you cut it open and made it easy for him, then the butterfly would emerge. All of the moisture would still be in her wings and she wouldn't be able to fly. So literally, without the struggle, you cannot fly. Literally. Like, how awesome is that? Here's the other thing I love about this. The butterfly cannot see their own beauty.
That's right.
Right. And so we have this community of people to remind each other of who and whose we
Beautiful
are,
they are.
how beautiful they are. I
Mm.
just love butterflies.
Well, I just love you. I love this community. I love
Yeah.
the profound difference. Every conversation is relevant. And I think the more you play, the more you will hear, the lessons and the learnings and what value and juice is here for each of our listeners.
Yeah. So when are you going to, so I have two things. We need to get you more followers on TikTok.
Well, as soon as I launch it, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. So be looking for that. And is it Shannon Schindler Redman on TikTok?
No, it is Freedom Bound Moms.
See, there we go. So look for Freedom Bound Moms on TikTok.
Freedom Bound Moms, there are absolutely no videos yet.
Well, and it got to start somewhere, right?
I just started yesterday.
Yes. So Freedom Bound Moms on TikTok. Look at that. When are you re-releasing the 5-day challenge?
Actually, that's crazy you should say that, because what I was just thinking, so the link, the bio, right, is all of my free resources. The ebook, the masterclass, the, how to generate leads, our Soul Sister podcast, our Soul Sister group. It's all on this, electronic bio. So that is something I could totally add as a opportunity and a resource for anyone who wants it.
Yeah.
So I could actually relaunch that.
This is what I'm saying, because it was really good. So my request is, when that's ready, we do a whole separate post in our Facebook group so that people can see. Just because like it's the bio somewhere else, it doesn't mean you can't, let's have it available.
Yes.
To our sisters.
To our sisters. Beautiful. Well,
that's your homework.
This has been juicier than I imagined, as they always are.
They always are. Yeah. It's just this divine, so we pray, just so our listeners know, we pray before we hop on, because we are very committed that we can impact you in an area of your life that makes a difference for you, so that you get to be more of who you were born to be.
Yes.
And, just never disappoints.
Never, ever disappoints. And, our commitment was that you have a breakthrough today.
Yes.
So we would love to hear what your breakthrough was. Put it in a comment, post it over on our Facebook group, the Soul Sister Adventures. Leave a comment below. We would love to hear, what breakthrough did you get for yourself today in this podcast, such that you could actually see, feel, hear, taste your future self, and that whatever it is that you're experiencing right now in this moment is just a stepping stone to all that you were designed and developing to be for yourself and the world. So
for sure.
Cool. Anything else, Miss Connie Rose? I
think we did a lot.
We have done a lot. We have. So we
writer downers there.
A lot of writer. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to this myself. So just so our listeners know, I listen to every single one of our podcasts. Sometimes I'm like crying at the breakthroughs. I'm like, who said that? Where did it come from? So I also have people that are like, Shannon, I listen to you, and it's like you're in the car and we're having a conversation and I talk back to you. So if that's you, let us know that is your experience, because ultimately that's what our heart desires. We want you to be in the car with us, laughing and giggling and in the muck and growing and expanding and elevating.
Well, and that's what started the podcast.
It did.
Our conversations in the car on your drive time.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like, we could be like solving all the, we're solving all our world problems. We want to solve the world problems. So
exactly. So, get in the car.
Get in the car. Carpool with Connie.
Carpool.
Beautiful. All right. We love you, love you, love you. Like it, tag it, post it, share it, and we will see you on the next episode. Get in the car.
In the car.